If you don't like crying in public places, don't see this movie.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rubbish or Rad. We're doing something a little different in this episode. We're reviewing a movie for the first time, and this movie was something that we were both really affected by and thoroughly enjoyed, and we'd like to talk about it.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
That's it.
The Mr. Rogers movie starring Tom Hanks, directed by Marielle Heller, starring Matthew, Rhys, and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to get a sneak peek preview screening of this film.
We're fancy.
Yeah, in a really beautiful theater with a lunch afterwards.
This movie opens Thanksgiving, so about 3 weeks from now. So we were super excited to get a chance to see this. Love the film. Tell you right off the bat, it was rad immediately.
We're not even waiting to the end to give the prognosis. I love it.
We didn't have anything to do with this movie. We are in the industry, but we just thoroughly enjoyed it as fans. I can't remember the last time I saw a movie and loved it this much. It's one of those films that just make you feel really wonderful and has a great message, but at the same time, it's not sappy and it's not contrived and it's not like corny. It's just, it's a really beautiful human study about people. And this day and age, with so much over-the-top roller coaster kind of movies from, you know, comic books and fantasy lands and dinosaurs, it's really nice to finally get a movie that's about real humans, real people, and just a lovely story and a character piece of a beloved icon in American history of Fred Rogers.
And not really anything, you know, massive happened. I mean, certainly there was a journey with all of the characters, a big journey, but it wasn't like those blockbuster movies where there has to be, you know, someone exploding or beaten by a monster. It was just a really honest, sincere piece about this man's journey and how another man, another human, affected him. Yeah,
it's based on an Esquire article.
Yeah.
So while it is largely fictionalized, it is based on truth, and a comparison that I made is, it's kind of like I grew up loving Bruce Lee, and then when I'm 15, a biopic comes out about Bruce Lee called Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story, and that movie like rocked my world and so many other teenage boys, and it wasn't like it was a direct derivative piece about his life. It was something that captured the essence and spirit and message of who the man was, and I think this movie is a lot like that in that it honors Fred Rogers in a really beautiful way. It's based on his life, it's based on a lot of true events. It's largely fictionalized, but at the end of the day, it really communicates a beautiful message of kindness, and it talks about the man that he really was, and he was no saint, he wasn't perfect, he didn't say he ever was perfect. He worked at it.
I think that was the biggest lesson. This isn't a spoiler alert, but it very much showed that his kindness and his humanity was something that he worked on every single day. He had active exercises that he did to channel his feelings of anger, channel his feelings of resentment, madness.
Struggles as a parent, like everybody has. And we also watched this movie at a time that was really important to us because it's been a tough week for us. We have 2 small boys and are constantly trying our best to be patient and kind, and it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Here comes one now.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Mommy, what are you doing here?
We're filming a movie review about Mr. Rogers.
We're home. Of course we're home. You can come in, sweetheart. Yes, but we were lucky enough to see this movie, and I think that, you know, this isn't so much a review, but more of a testimony that you should see this film, especially because it's going to happen around Thanksgiving, and that's certainly a time traditionally that is all about being kind and human.
I actually can't wait to watch this movie again. There's a lot of movies that I love, but I can only watch like once. And then there's other movies that I love and I could just like watch every single time they're on reruns on cable or just pop it on Netflix or whatever. This movie is one of those films that I can imagine watching again and again and just really loving the work. It's a perfectly crafted movie. The acting, the directing, the storytelling. It's perfectly nuanced, and I just got to take my hat off to the whole cast. Tom Hanks is incredible.
He's not really the lead. Matthew Rhys is the lead. I mean, Tom Hanks is brilliant.
Tom Hanks has top billing and is the title character, but really the story is the journey with Matthew Rhys entering into Mr. Rogers' world, which was, a common storytelling device, but in this case, executed perfectly as Matthew Rhys, who I'm not familiar with his work. I know he's from The Americans with Kerry Russell, but
yes, there's a lot of
terrific.
actors in this film that are TV actors, not necessarily household names, but terrific actors.
Susan Kelechi Watson plays Matthew Rhys' wife, and she was just terrific. She's from This Is Us and
We're
Louie.
being told the bar is closing.
That's the last call. Hey, buddy, let's try not to play with the light switch.
I guess we need to wrap this up then. That's our cue.
That's our cue to wrap this up. So, 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up.
And finally, it is...
It's rad. Love this movie. Cooper, you know how the light switch works.